Hello, Creatine Creed, and my own channel. Today, we are starting a book study on the Iliad.
So guys, this is a new series here on the Creatine Creed called Book Club with the Creed. Our current plan is, so first I'll explain, we're trying to do some more stuff that's like, obviously our main focus is workout content, but we try to do some stuff outside the workout content, like, just some stuff to entertain you guys.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit, our current plan, which I guess could change, but what we currently have lined up is we're going to do the Iliad, and then the Odyssey, and then Dante's Inferno.
Dante as a whole, not just the Inferno, I think, right? Because there's more than just the Inferno. But yeah.
Dante, and then we are going to do a non-religious reading of the Quran.
Yeah, so we, like, with the Quran, it won't be like, obviously we're Christians,
Mm-hmm. So it'll be like a secular reading of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I think, and obviously that's a long way away because we have some long books ahead of us, but guys, I think this is going to be really fun. Let us know what you guys think of this series. And yeah, anyways, today we are doing Iliad Book 1.
Yeah, so, quick thing before, I think what we're going to do, we're probably going to read the book beforehand, right? To get a general, feeling on it, Then we're going to read the book on camera, right? And that's going to take a bit. We'll analyze some stuff. Then we'll, discuss it, And we'll have Nate here.
Yeah, Nate couldn't make it today, but he will be here next. He will be reading this book from home. He'll be reading book 1 from home today, and for next episode, he will be here. He will be caught up, and we'll all be together to do it.
Yep.
And yeah, that's all I can think of. Do you have anything else today?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, we're gonna skip past the introduction. Let's just get right into book 1. Who would like to start reading?
I think, you want me to start?
I can go either way.
Okay, I'll start. We'll switch every paragraph. 2 paragraphs, actually. Yeah, 2 paragraphs. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Rage of Achilles. Rage goddess. Sing the rage of Peleus' son Achilles. Murderous, doomed, that cost the Achaeans countless losses, hurling down to the house of death so many sturdy souls. Great fighters' souls, but made their bodies carry on, feast for dogs and birds. And the will of Zeus was moving towards its end. Begin, muse, when the 2 first broke and clashed, Agamemnon, lord of men, and brilliant Achilles. What god drove them to fight with such fury? Apollo, the son of Zeus, and Leto, incest at the king. He swept a fatal plague through the army. Men were dying, and all because Agamemnon spurned Apollo's priest. Yes, Chryses approached the Achaeans' fast ships to win his daughter back, bringing a priceless ransom, and bearing high in hand, wound on a golden staff, the reefs of the god, the distant deadly archer. He begged the whole Achaean army, but most of all, the 2 supreme commanders, Atreus' 2 sons, Agamemnon, Menelaus, Agamemnon, Menelaus, all Argives geared for war. May the gods who hold the halls of Olympus give you Priam's city to plunder, then safe passage home. Just set my daughter free, my dear one. Here, accept these gifts, this ransom. Honor the god who strikes from worlds away, the son of Zeus, Apollo. Okay. I think we'll do a quick summary every 2 paragraphs too of kind of what happened. So basically what happened in that is obviously the first paragraph was just Homer invoking the muse to kind of, the muse is kind of divine inspiration, He was invoking the muse to kind of let him sing about these things,
Guys, by the way, real quick, if you clicked on this expecting an audiobook, it's not that. We will be discussing all the way through.
Yeah.
Continue.
So, yeah. he invokes the muse to sing about the Trojan War, and not just the whole Trojan War, but a part of it. So this is like, they call it in medias res, which means in the middle of things. It starts in the middle thing. It's kind of like a trope in classical epics. But yeah, so he's asking about the rage of Achilles and like kind of what happened with that. And so the second paragraph kind of deals with Agamemnon taking this prize from like this one like place or whatever, and the prize is a girl who is the daughter of this guy Chryses, the priest of Apollo. That's the word. And Chryses is coming back and begging for her back, and threatening if Agamemnon doesn't give her back, to let Apollo's rage on them. So we'll have Liam pick up right here.
And all ranks of Achaeans cried out their assent. Respects the priest, accepts the shining ransom. But it brought no joy to the heart of... Sorry, I struggle with some of these names.
You're all good. I'll help you. I struggle with most of them too. Agamemnon.
The king dismissed the priest with a brutal order ringing in his ears. Never again, old man, let me catch sight of you by the hollow ships. Not loitering now, not slinking back tomorrow. The staff and the wreaths of God will never save you then. The girl, I won't give up the girl. Long before that, old age will overtake her in my house, in Argos, far from her fatherland, slaving back and forth at the loom, forced to share my bed. Now go, don't tempt my wrath, and you may depart alive. The old man was terrified. He obeyed the order, turning, trailing away in silence down the shore where the battle lines of breakers crash and drag. And moving off to a safe distance, over and over the old priest prayed to the son of sleek-haired Leto, Lord Apollo, hear me, Apollo, god of the silver bow who studies the walls of Chryses and Scylla. Christ and Scylla.
Okay, yeah.
Sacrosanct, yeah. Lord and power of Tenedos.
Let me see. Yeah, just
Tenedos.
I don't know exactly.
Smintheus, god of the plague. I'm sorry, guys. If I ever roofed a shrine to please your heart, ever burned the long rich bones of bulls and goats on your holy altar, now bring my prayer to pass. Pay the Danaans back. Your arrows for my tears. His prayer went up, and Phobos Apollo heard him. Down he strode from Olympus's peaks, storming at heart with his bow and hooded quiver slung across his shoulders. The arrows clanged at his back as the god quaked with rage. The god himself on the march, and down he came like night. Over against the ships he dropped to a knee, let fly a shaft, and a terrifying crash rang out from the great silver bow. First he went for the mules and circling dogs, but then, launching a piercing shaft at the men themselves, he cut them down in droves, and the corpse fires burned on, night and day, no end in sight. Okay, so what basically happens is Isaac's better at this part.
Okay. So, first of all, I just want to say, we're not going to, I'm going to try to give shorter summaries, but I'm just starting with the longer ones to kind of, because everyone's getting used to the reading style of Homer.
But, yeah, because it's a very, even though this is a contemporary translation, it's still very old wording, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, by the way.
Like the writing style.
Shout out to Robert Fagles for translating this.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the best translations. But, yeah, I'll just give a little bit longer ones at the start, like these first few episodes, to get everyone used to Homer's writing. So basically what happened in that was Chryses or whatever his name was, the priest of Apollo, his daughter, Agamemnon didn't give her back, right? He said, she's gonna unwillingly sleep in my bed and all that crap. And so then Chryses, he legit, like, tells Apollo, like, asks him, prays to him, to kind of take revenge on the Achaeans, the Greeks, and Apollo does that, and sends down a plague to spread through the Achaean lines and stuff. I'll pick back up. 9 days the arrows of the gods swept through the army. On the 10th, Achilles called all ranks to muster. The impulse seized him, sent by white-armed Hera, grieving to see Achaean fighters drop and die. Once they gathered, crowding the meeting grounds, the swift runner Achilles rose and spoke among them. Son of Atreus, now we are beaten back. I fear the long campaign is lost. So home we sail, if we can escape our death, if war and plague are joining forces now to crush the Argives. But wait, let us question a holy man, a prophet, even a man skilled with dreams. Dreams as well can come our way from Zeus. Come, someone tell us why Apollo rages so, whether he blames us for a vow we failed, or sacrifice. If only the god would share the smoky savor of lambs and full-grown goats, Apollo might be willing, still, somehow, to save us from this plague. Okay, so we proposed, and now he said again, as Calchas rules among them. Thestor's son, the clearest by far of all the seers, who can scan the flight of birds. He knew all things that are past, and all that are to come. The seer, who had led the Argive ships to Troy, with the second sight that god Apollo gave him. For the army's good, the seer began to speak. Oh, for the army's good, the seer began to speak. There we go. Sorry, that's my bad. Achilles, dear to Zeus, you order me to explain Apollo's anger? The distant, deadly archer? I will tell it all. But strike a pact with me. Swear you will defend me, with all your heart, with words and strength of hand. For there is a man I will enrage. I see it now, a powerful man, who lords it over all the Argives. One the Achaeans must obey, a mighty king, raging against an inferior, is too strong. Even if he can swallow down his wrath today, still he will nurse the burning in his chest until sooner or later he sends it bursting forth. Consider it closely, Achilles. Will you save me? Okay, so what happens there? Achilles stands up. He's like, yo, we have to get like a seer to like tell why Apollo is doing all this stuff. So then Calchas stands up and responds to Achilles, yeah, just make sure you protect me, because Agamemnon's going to get angry if I say something.
Alright, right here.
Right here.
And the matchless runner reassured him, courage, out with it now, Calchas. Reveal the will of God, whatever you may know. And I swear by Apollo, dear to Zeus, the power you pray to, Calchas, when you reveal God's will to the Argives, no one, not while I am alive and see the light on the earth, no one will lay his heavy hands on you by the hollow ships. None among all the armies, not even if you mean Agamemnon here, who now claims to be by far the best of the Achaeans. The seer took heart, and this time he spoke out. Bravely. Beware, he cast no blame for a vow we failed, a sacrifice. The gods enraged because Agamemnon spurned his priest. He refused to free his daughter. He refused the ransom. That's why Archer sends us pains, and he will send us more, and never drive this shameful destruction from the Argives. Not till we give back the girl with sparkling eyes to her loving father. No price, no ransom paid. And carry a sacred 100 bulls to Christstown. Then we can calm the god, and only then appease him. I think I should just continue through this long paragraph. So he declared and sat down. But among them rose the fighting son of Atreus, lord of the far-flung kingdoms, Agamemnon. Furious, his dark heart filled to the brim, blazing with anger now, his eyes like searing fire. With a sudden, killing look, he wheeled on Calchas first. Seer of misery, never a word that works to my advantage. Always misery warms your heart, your prophecies, never a word of profit said or brought to pass. Now, again, you divine God's will for the armies. Brew it about it. As fact, why the deadly archer multiplies our pains. Because I refuse that glittering price for the young girl Chryses. Indeed, I prefer her by far, the girl herself. I want her mine in my own house. I rank her higher than Clytemnestra, my wedded wife. She's nothing less in build or breeding, in minds or works of hand. But I am willing to give her back, even so, if that is best for all. What I really want is to keep my people safe, not to see them dying. But fetch me another prize, and straight off too, else I alone of the Argives go without my honor. That would be a disgrace. You are all witness. Look, my prize is snatched away.
Nice job. Okay,
Thanks.
so funny story.
I will get these names down eventually.
Funny story quick, okay?
Yeah.
So one time in ancient literature class, we started this year off by reading this book and that. And so he asked us like kind of what this sentence means. I rank her higher than Clytemnestra, my wedded wife. She's nothing less in build or breeding, in minds or work of hand. Okay, so basically he asked us what breeding meant here. And I said, I raised my hand and I said sex.
Okay. You guys are still in here, huh? Okay. Just wanted to double check.
Okay.
And then
cake if you guys are interested.
All right, thanks.
And then it turns out it was actually like lineage.
Mm-hmm.
So I just completely blew that. Yeah, it was pretty funny in class when it actually happened. It's not very funny when I'm explaining it, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it was funny.
Okay, so basically what happens in that is the seer says it's because the one guy cried out because his daughter was stolen. And Agamemnon, as Calchas guessed, did not like that very much. So he kind of like berates Calchas and kind of, it's kind of a jerk. And I think like you can already see his pride coming through, which is like a major thing to why like a lot of the events in the book happen. Agamemnon's pride is like, I'd say his fatal flaw.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much what happens. So, but the swift runner Achilles answered him at once. Just how, Agamemnon, great field marshal, most grasping man alive? How can the generous Argives give you prizes now? I know of no troves of treasure piled, lying idle anywhere. Whatever we dragged from towns we plundered, all's been portioned out. But collect it, call it back from the rank and file, that would be the disgrace. So return the girl to the god, at least for now. We Achaeans will pay you back 3-4 times over. If Zeus will grant us this gift, somehow, someday, to raise Troy's massive ramparts to the ground. Okay. But King Agamemnon countered, "Not so quickly. Brave as you are, godlike Achilles, trying to cheat me? Oh no, you won't get past me. Take me in that way. What do you want? To cling to your own prize? While I sit calmly by, empty-handed here? Is that why you order me to give her back? No. If our generous Argives will give me a prize, a match for my desires, equal to what I've lost, well and good. But if they give me nothing, I will take a prize myself. Your own, or Ajax, or Odysseus' prize. I'll commandeer her myself, and let that man I go to visit choke with rage. Enough. We'll deal with this all later. In due time. Now come. We haul a black ship down to the bright sea. Gather a decent number of oarsmen along her locks, and put aboard a sacrifice. And Chryseis herself, in all her beauty, we embark her too. Let one of the leading captains take command. Ajax, Idomeneus, trusty Odysseus, or you, Achilles. You, the most violent man alive. So you can perform the rites for us and calm the god yourself. Okay,
Right.
So Agamemnon there agrees to bring back Chryseis, but he also alludes to something that won't be very good. You know, he says, you know, I'll give up my prize, but I'm not going home empty-handed. So he's planning to take one of the leading generals' prizes, either Ajax, Odysseus's, or Achilles.
Now, I am going to propose something for the sake of time. Tell me what you think of this. Instead of stopping every 2 paragraphs, what if we stop every 2 pages? So when I say that,
Okay, yeah.
like,
That sounds good.
obviously you already read this, so I'll read this and this page. But then you'll take it back, read this, I'll read that. You know what I'm saying? Just going forward.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Is there any chance I can finish these 2 pages up quick then?
If you want to, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I really like this part. I think this is...
That's okay. I just didn't want to burden you with,
Yeah.
Anyways.
Thank you. Okay. A dark glance, and the headstrong runner answered him in kind. Shameless, armored in shamelessness, always strewed with greed. How could any Argive soldier obey your orders? Freely and gladly do you, freely and gladly do your sailing for you, or fight your enemies, full force. Not I, no. It wasn't Trojan spearmen who brought me here to fight. The Trojans never did me damage, not in the least. They never stole my cattle or my horses, never in Pythia, where the rich soil breeds strong men, did they lay waste to my crops. How could they? Look at the endless miles that lie between us. Shadowy mountain ranges, seas that surge and thunder. No, you, colossal, shameless. We all followed you, to please you, to fight for you, to win your honor. Back from the Trojans, Menelaus and you dogface.
Guys, in ancient times, that would have been like a major insult. Sorry to interrupt, but like...
Okay, so, spoiler alert, right? But in the Odyssey, Odysseus has like this cold freaking line, bro. There's like this servant later. He's back at his home. He's like disguised to like kill all the suitors because they're trying to like bang his wife. And so this servant lady is like being annoying to him, right? He's disguised as a homeless person, and he's like, so she's talking, right? And then he's just randomly like, "Shut up, you brazen!" And then he says the B word.
Oh.
It's just so much aura.
Yeah.
He's still like disguised as a homeless person in that. It's just such a cool, so much aura. Okay. Dogface is pretty good too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start using that. Crap, where was I? Okay, you dog face. What do you care? Nothing. You don't look right or left. And now you threaten to strip me of my prize in person? The one I fought for long and hard? And sons of Achaia handed her to me. My honors never equaled yours. Whenever we sack some wealthy Trojan stronghold, my arms bear the brunt of the raw, savage fighting. True, but when it comes to dividing up the plunder, the lion's share is yours. And back I go to my ships, clutching some scrap, some pinnance that I love, when I have fought to my hard exhaustion. No more now. Back I go to Pythia. Better that way, by far, to journey home in the beaked ships of war. I have no mind to linger here, disgraced, brimming your cup and piling up your plunder. But the Lord of Men, Agamemnon, shot back. Desert, by all means. If the spirit drives you home, I will never beg you to stay, not on my account. Never. Others will take my side and do me honor. Zeus above all, whose wisdom rules the world. You, I hate you most of all the warlords, loved by the gods. Always dear to your heart. Strife, yes, and battles, the bloody grind of war. What if you are a great soldier? That's just a gift of God. Go home with your ships and comrades. Lord it over, your myrmidons. You are nothing to me, you and your overweening anger. But let this be my warning on your way. Since Apollo insists on taking my Chryseis, I'll send her back in my own ships, with my own crew. But I will be there in person at your tents to take Briseis in all her beauty, your own prize, so you can learn just how much greater I am than you. And the next man up may shrink from matching words with me, from hoping to rival Agamemnon's strength for strength. Okay. So, I read to this part, but I think that most of this paragraph is going to be on the next page, so you just start there. But basically, what happens in that is Achilles and Agamemnon are arguing, right? And Achilles thinks it's a little, like, stupid, because, like, he's doing all this crap, right? And Agamemnon gets the lion's share. Doesn't seem very fair to me. And so, like, he's also saying, like, I don't care about this war, you know? Like, the only reason I came here was to fight for you and to honor you and your brother. But, like, now that you've disrespected me, I don't care about that anymore, you know? This is not my battle. And then Agamemnon, such an op, right? He gets back and he's like, I'm gonna steal your prizes, Achilles. Briseis, she's mine now. Stupid. So that's kind of what starts to set off Achilles' rage.
Yeah.
Can I say one more thing quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think, so this is kind of a little bit of a spoiler, but I think a lot of people view Achilles in kind of a bad light, you know? And I think I was one of those people until recently.
We named like an injury after him.
Oh?
Sorry, I'm just
so recently I heard this take, which I think is kind of intriguing and I kind of like it. And so there's this prophecy, right? That Achilles is either destined to die soon, like die young, but have like all the fame and glory. And he'll be dying in battle, right? And then there's also another one where he'll not go to battle, not get any fame and glory, live a quiet life, but he'll have a long and happy life. And I think, you know, he knows about this prophecy, right? And he still chose the glory, you know? And I think part of the reason why it's such a big deal to Achilles, like part of the reason he's quitting, like, is because, like, sorry for saying like so much, he kind of feels disrespected, and he feels the one reason he came to battle is being taken away from him, and he's dying this death for no reason.
Yeah, so it's like he took like my only reason to do this.
Yeah.
My only motivation. He took
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. He broke off an anguish-gripped Achilles. The heart in his rugged chest was pounding, torn. Should he draw the long, sharp sword slung at his hip, thrust through the ranks and kill Agamemnon now? Or check his rage and beat his fury down? As his racing spirit veered back and forth, just as he drew his huge blade from its sheath, down from the vaulting heavens swept Athena, the white-armed goddess. Hera sped her down. Hera loved both men and cared for both alike. Rearing behind him, Pallas seized his fiery hair. Only Achilles saw her, none of the other fighters. Struck with wonder, he spun around. He knew her at once.
By the way, Pallas is just another name for Athena.
Pallas Athena, the terrible blazing of those eyes, and his winged words went flying. Why? Why now? Child of Zeus with the shield of thunder, why come now? To witness the outrage Agamemnon just committed? I tell you this, and so help me it's the truth. He'll soon pay for his arrogance with his life. Her gray eyes clear, the goddess Athena answered. Down from the skies I come to check your rage, if only you will yield. The white-armed goddess Hera sped me down. She loves you both, she cares for you both alike. Stop this fighting now. Don't lay hand to sword. Lash him with threats of the price that he will face. And I tell you this, and I know it is the truth, one day glittering gifts will lie before you, 3 times over to pay for all his outrage. Hold back now, obey us both. So she urged, and the swift runner complied at once. I must. When the two of you hand down commands, goddess, a man submits through his heart, breaks with fury. Better for him by far. If a man obeys the gods, they're quick to hear his prayers. And with that, Achilles stayed his burly hand on the silver hilts and slid the huge blade back in its sheath. He would not fight the orders of Athena. Soaring home to Olympus, she rejoined the gods aloft in the halls of Zeus, whose shield is thunder. But Achilles rounded on Agamemnon once again, lashing out at him, not relaxing his anger for a moment. Staggering drunk with your dog's eyes, your fawn's heart, never once did you arm with the troops and go to battle, or risk an ambush packed with Achaea's picked men. You lack the courage, you can see death coming. Safer by far you find to foray all through camp, commandeering the prize of any man who speaks against you. King who devours his people, worthless husks, the men you rule, if not Atrides, this outrage would have been your last. I tell you this, and I swear a mighty oath upon it, by this scepter, look, that never again will put forth crown and branches. Now it's left its stump on the mountain ridge forever, nor will it sprout new green again. Now the brazen axe has stripped its bark and leaves, and now the sons of Achaea pass it back and forth as they hand their judgments down, upholding the honored customs whenever Zeus commands. This scepter will be a mighty force behind my oath. Someday, I swear, a yearning for Achilles will strike Achaea's sons and all your armies. But then, Atrides, herald as you will be, nothing you do can save you. Not when your hordes of fighters drop and die, cut down by the hands of men killing Hector. Then you will tear your heart out. Desperate, raging that you be disgraced, the best of the Achaeans. Down on the ground, he dashed the scepter studded bright with golden nails, then took his seat again. The son of Atreus smoldered, glaring across at him. But Nestor rose between them, the man of winning words, the clear speaker of Pylos. Sweeter than honey from his tongue, the voice flowed on and on. 2 generations of mortal men he had seen go down by now, those who were born and bred with him in the old days, in Pylos' holy realm, and now he ruled the third.
Okay. Let me quick. Did you finish this page? Okay.
Oh, that's what you're gonna start with.
Where?
I turned the page.
Okay. Let me quick double check, see how much longer is.
We have 12 more pages.
Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go.
He pleaded with both kings with clear goodwill. No more, or enormous sorrow comes to all Achaia. How they will exalt Priam and Priam's sons, all the Trojans. Oh, they leap for joy to hear the two of you battling on this way. You who excel us all, first in Achaean councils, first in the ways of war. Stop, please. Listen to Nestor. You are both younger than I, and in my time I struck up with better men than you, even you. But never once did they make light of me. I've never seen such men. I never will again. Men like Pirithous, Dryas, that fine captain, Caeneus, and Exadius, and Polyphemus, royal prince, and Theseus, I don't know, Theseus, I think, a Aegesius boy, a match for the immortals. They were the strongest mortals ever bred on earth, the strongest, and they fought against the strongest too. Shaggy centaurs, wild brutes of the mountains. They hacked them down, terrible deadly work, and I was in their ranks, fresh out of Pylos, far away from home. They enlisted me themselves, and I fought on my own, a freelance, single-handed, and none of the men who walk the earth these days could battle with those fighters. None. But they took to heart my counsels. Mark my words. So now you listen too. Yielding is far better. Don't seize the girl, Agamemnon. Powerful as you are, leave her, just as the sons of Achaia gave her, his prize from the very first. And you, Achilles, never hope to fight it out with your king, pitting force against his force. No one can match the honors dealt a king, you know, a sceptered king to whom great Zeus gives glory. Strong as you are, a goddess was your mother. He has more power because he rules more men. Atrides, end your anger. Look, it's Nestor. I beg you, cool your fury against Achilles. Here, the man stands over all Achaia's armies, our rugged bulwark braced for the shocks of war. But King Agamemnon answered him in haste. True, old men, all you say is fit and proper. But this soldier wants to tower over the armies. He wants to rule over all, to lord it all over, to give orders to every man in sight. Well, there's one, I trust, who will never yield to him. What if the everlasting gods had made a spearman of him? Have they entitled him to hurl abuse at me? Yes, blazing Achilles broke at Yes, blazing Achilles broke in quickly. What a worthless, burnt out coward. I'd be called if I would submit to you and all your orders. Whatever you blurt out, fling them at others. Don't give me commands. Never again, I trust, will Achilles yield to you. And I tell you this, take it to heart, I warn you. My hands will never do battle for that girl. Neither with you, king, nor any man alive. You, Achaeans, gave her. Now you've snatched her back. But all the rest I possess beside my fast black ship. Not one bit of it can seize you against my will. Can you seize against my will? Atrides. Come, try it, so the men can see. That instant your black blood gush and spurt gush and spurt around my spear. Once the two had fought it out with words, battling face to face, both sprang to their feet and broke up the muster beside the Argive squadrons. Achilles strode off to his trim ships and shelters, back to his friend Patroclus and their comrades. Agamemnon had a vessel hauled down to the sea. He picked out 20 oarsmen to man her locks, put aboard the cattle for sacrifice to the god, and led Chryseis in all her beauty amid ships. Versatile Odysseus took the helm as captain. Okay. So, yeah, basically.
10 more pages to go, yippee. Anyways.
So basically, Achilles, mad at Agamemnon, goes away from the fighting. He doesn't fight over, he doesn't like kill him, you know? He doesn't think the girl is worth all that. Briseis is not worth all that. But he's not fighting for this guy anymore.
Mm-hmm. Good for him.
Yep.
All embarked, the party launched out on the sea's foaming lanes, while the son of Atreus told his troops to wash, to purify themselves from the filth of plague. They scored it off through scorings, or that might be scourings.
Let me see.
Scour? No.
Scouring, scores. I don't know.
In the surf, and sacrificed to Apollo full-grown bulls and goats along the beaten shore of the fellow barren sea, and savory smoke went swirling up the skies. So the men were engaged throughout the camp, but King Agamemnon finally got it. First threat he hurled against Achilles. He told Talthobius and Eurybates briskly, his two heralds, ready, willing aids, go to Achilles' lodge, take Briseis at once, his beauty Briseis by the hand, and bring her here. But if he will not surrender her, I'll go myself. I'll seize her myself, with an army at my back, and all the worse for him. He sent them off with strict order ringing in their ears. Against their will, the two men made their way along the breaking surf of the barren salt sea, and reached the Myrmidon shelters in their ships. They found him beside his lodge in Black Hole, seated grimly, and Achilles took no joy when he saw the two approaching. They were afraid. They held the king in awe, and stood there silent. Not a word to Achilles, not a question, but he sensed it all in his heart, their fear, their charge, and broke the silence for them. Welcome, couriers, good heralds of Zeus and men. Here, come closer. You have done nothing to me. You are not to blame. No one but Agamemnon. He is the one who sent you to Briseis. Go, Patroclus, prince, bring out the girl and hand her to them so they can take her back. But let them both bear witness to my loss, in the face of blissful gods and mortal men, in the face of that unbending, ruthless king, if the days should come when the armies need me to save their ranks from ignominious stark defeat. The man is raving with all the murderous fury in his heart. He lacks the sense to see a day behind, a day ahead, and safeguard the Achaeans battling by the ships. Patroclus obeyed his great friend's command. He read Briseis in all her beauty from the lodge and handed her over to the men to take away. And the two walked back along the Argive ships while she trailed on behind, reluctant every step. But Achilles wept, and slipping away from his companions far apart, sat down on the beach of the heaving gray sea and scanned the endless ocean. Reaching out his arms again and again, he prayed to his dear mother. Mother, you gave me life. Short as that life will be, so at least Olympian Zeus, thundering up on high, should give me honor. But now he gives me nothing. Atreus' son Agamemnon, for all his far-flung kingdoms, and the man disgraces me, seizes and keeps my prize. He tears her away himself. So he wept and prayed, and his noble mother heard him, seated near her father, the old man of the sea in the green salt depths. Suddenly up she rose from the churning surf like mist, and settling beside him as he wept, stroked Achilles gently, whispering his name. My child, why in tears? What sorrow has touched your heart? Tell me, please. Don't harbor it all deep inside you. You must share it all. And now from his depths the proud runner groaned. You know, why labor through it all? You know it all so well. We raided Thebe once, Eaton's sacred citadel. We ravaged the place, hauled all the plunder here, and the armies passed it around, share and share alike, and they chose the beauty Chrysis for Agamemnon. But soon her father, the holy priest of Apollo, the distant deadly archer, Chryses, approached the fast-trimmed ships of the Argives, armed in bronze to win his daughter back, bringing a priceless ransom and bearing high in hand, wound on a golden staff, the wreaths of the guide who strikes from worlds away. He begged the whole Achaean army, but most of all the two supreme commanders, Atreus' two sons, and all ranks of Achaeans cried out their assent. Respect the priest, accept the shining ransom. But it brought no joy to the heart of Agamemnon. But our high and mighty king dismissed the priest with a brutal order ringing in his ears. And shattered with anger, the old man withdrew, but Apollo heard his prayer. He loved him deeply. He loosed his shaft at... I don't know, lose my place. Argives, withering plague. And now the troops began to drop and die in droves. The arrows of God went showering left and right, whipping through the Achaeans' vast encampment. But the old seer who knew the cause full well revealed the will of the archery god Apollo. And I was the first, mother. I urged them all, appease the god at once. That's when the fury gripped the son of Atreus. Agamemnon leapt to his feet, hurled his threat. His threat's been driven home. One girl, Chrysis, the fiery-eyed Achaeans ferry out in a fast-trimmed ship to Chrysis Island, laden with presents for the god. The other girl, just now the heralds, came and led her away from camp. Briseis' daughter, the prize the armies gave me. But you, mother, if you have power at all, protect your son. Go to Olympus, plead with Zeus. If you ever warmed his heart with a word or any action, for the sake of keeping this going, I'm just going to finish this if that's okay with you. Time and again I heard your claims in father's halls, boasting how you and you alone of all immortals rescued Zeus, the lord of the dark storm cloud, from ignominious stark defeat. That day the Olympians tried to chain him down. Hera, Poseidon, lord of the sea, I love Poseidon, and Pallas Athena. What was that movie with Poseidon? Anyways, he rushed to Zeus, dear goddess, broke those chains, quickly ordered the 100-hander to steep Olympus, that monster whom the immortals call Briareus, but every mortal calls the sea god's son. Aegeon. How do you pronounce it?
Aegeon or something like that.
Though he's stronger than his father, down he sat, flanking Cronus' son, Garang Tuan in the glory of it all. And the blessed gods were struck with terror then. They stopped shackling Zeus. Remind him of that now. Go and sit beside him, grasp his knees, persuade him somehow to help the Trojan cause, to pin the Achaeans back against their ships, trap them around the bay and mow them down, so all can reap the benefits of their king. So even mighty Atrides can see how mad he was to disgrace Achilles, the best of the Achaeans. And Thetis answered, bursting into tears.
You good if I read this part?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, yeah. That was a lot. Crap. Well, where did you start again?
These two pages,
Okay.
and then...
So, Achilles goes back. He's like, not in the battle anymore, not in Trojan War. Agamemnon sends the guys to pick up Briseis, his prize, and take her away. And then Achilles is sad. He sits by like a fireplace, and his mother Thetis comes, and Achilles, he's like legit asking her to basically slime on the Achaeans. You know, he's asking her to go to Zeus and kind of bring revenge down for Achilles onto Agamemnon and his troops because he did this. Which I don't think. I'd agree with Achilles. Like I think his reasoning. Like I'm more sympathetic for him than Agamemnon in this. But I think that is like a flaw of his. He is a little bit selfish, but it is what it is, man. But yeah. Back to it. And Thetis answered, bursting in tears. "Oh, my son, my sorrow. Why did I ever bear you? All I bore was doom. Would to God you could linger by your ships, without a grief in the world, without a torment, doomed to your short life. You have so little time, and not only short now, but filled with heartbreak too. More than all the other men alive, doomed twice over. Ah, to cruel fate I bore you in our halls. Still, I shall go to Olympus, crowned with snow, and repeat your prayer to Zeus who loves lightning. Perhaps he will be persuaded. But you, my child, stay here by the fast ships, rage on at the Achaeans, and just keep clear of every foray in the fighting. Only yesterday, Zeus went off to the ocean river to feast with the Ethiopians, loyal, lordly men. And all the gods went with him. But in 12 days, the father returns to Olympus. Then, for your sake, up I go to the bronze floor, the royal house of Zeus. I'll grasp his knees. I think I'll win him over." With that vow, his mother went away and left him there, alone, his heart inflamed for the sashed and lovely girl they'd wrenched away from him, against his will. Meanwhile, Odysseus drew in close to the Chrysae Island, bearing the splendid sacrifice in the vessel's hold. And once they had entered the deep harbor and bays, they furled and stowed the sail in the black ship. They lowered the mast by the forestays smoothly, quickly let it down on the forked mast crutch, and rowed her into the mooring under oars. Out went the bowstones, cables fast astern, and the crew themselves swung out in the breaking surf, leading out the sacrifice for the archer god Apollo. And out of the deep sea ship, Chryseis stepped too. Then tactful Odysseus led her up to the altar, placing her in her loving father's arms, and said, "Chryses, lord of men, Agamemnon sent me here to bring your daughter back to perform a sacrifice. A great sacrifice to Apollo, all for Achaea's sake, so we can appease the god who's loosed such a grief and torment on the Argives." Yeah, one second.
Page 98 is the end. What I think we're gonna do, if you're cool with it, is after you're done with these pages, I'll read a couple more and then I'll let you finish it off.
Okay, sounds good. We might not have too much time to go over like the actual thing, so we might have to film at a different day.
I think we will. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. What time is it?
It should be right around 10. I should have another half hour.
Okay. Just read fast. Okay. With those words, he left her in Chryseis' arms, and the priest embraced the child he loved. Exalted, at once the man arranged the sacrifice for Apollo, making the cattle ring his well-built altar. Then they rinsed their hands and took up barley. Rising among them, Chryseis, stretching his arms to the sky, and prayed in a high resounding voice, "Hear me, Apollo, god of the silver bowl, who strides the walls of Chrysae, and Scylla, sacrosanct, lord and power of Tenedos. If you honored me last time and heard my prayer, and rained destruction down on all Achaea's ranks, now bring my prayer to pass once more. Now, at last, drive this killing plague from the armies of Achaea." His prayer went up to Phobos Apollo, and Phobos Apollo heard it. And soon as the men had prayed and flung their barley. First, they lifted back the heads of their victims, slit their throats, skinned them, and carved away the meat from the thigh bones, and wrapped them in fat. A double fold sliced clean and topped with strips of flesh. The old man burned these over dried split wood, and over quarters poured out glistening wine, while young men at his side held 5 pronged forks. Once they had burned the bones and tasted the organs, they cut the rest into pieces, pierced them with spits, roasted them to a turn, and pulled them off the fire. The work done, the feast laid out, they ate well, and no man's hunger lacked a share of the banquet. When they had put aside their desire for food and drink, the young men brimmed the mixing bowls with wine, and tipping first drops for the god in every cup. They poured full rounds for all, and all day long they appeased the god with song, raising a ringing hymn to the distant archer god who drives away the plague. Those young Achaean warriors singing out his power. And Apollo listened, his great heart warm with joy. Then, when the sun went down and the night came on, they made their beds and slept by the stern cable. When young dawn rose with her red rose fingers shone once more, they set sail for the main encampment of Achaia. The archers sent them a bracing following wind. They stepped the mast, spread white sails wide, and the wind hit full and the canvas bellied out. And a dark blue wave, foaming up at the bow, sang out loud, and strong as a ship, made way, skimming the white caps, cutting toward her goal. And once offshore of Achaia's vast encampment, they eased her in and hauled the black ship high. Far up on the sand and shorter with timbers, they scattered, each to his own ship and shelter. Okay, so they return Chryseis to the priest of Apollo, and Apollo legit, he's chill with him now.
Yeah.
So he, stops the play.
Okay. But he raged on, grimly camped by his vast fleet, the royal son of Peleus, the swift runner Achilles. Now he no longer haunted the meeting grounds where men win glory. Now he no longer went to war, but day after day he ground his heart out, waiting there, yearning, always yearning for battle cries and combat. But now, as the 12th dawn after his shone, clear the gods who live forever marched home to Olympus, all in a long cortege, and Zeus led them on. And Thetis did not forget her son's appeals. She broke from a cresting wave at first light and soaring up to the broad sky in Mount Olympus, found the son of Cronus gazing down on the world, peaks apart from the other gods and seated high on the topmost crown of rugged, rigid Olympus. And crouching down at his feet, quickly grasping his knees with her left hand, her right hand holding him underneath the chin, she prayed to the Lord God Zeus, the son of Cronus. Zeus, Father Zeus, if I ever served you well among the deathless gods with a word or action, bring this prayer to pass. Honor my son Achilles, doomed to the shortest life of any man on earth. And now the Lord of men, Agamemnon, has disgraced him, seizes and keeps his prize, tears her away himself. But you exalt him, King Zeus. Your urgings rule the world.
Oh, you're good, bro. That's my bad. Alright, let's do that. Alright, we're good.
Your urgings rule the world. Come, grant the Trojans victory after victory till the Achaean armies pay my dear son back, building higher the honor he deserves. She paused, but Zeus, who commands the storm clouds, answered nothing. The father sat there silent. It seemed an eternity, but Thetis, clasping his knees, held on, clinging, pressing her question once again. Grant my prayer once and for all, Father. Bow your head in assent, or deny me outright. What have you to fear? so I may know too well just how cruelly I am most dishonored goddess of them all. Filled with anger, Zeus, who marshals the storm clouds, answered her at last. Disaster! You will drive me into war with Hera. She will provoke me. She with her shrill abuse. Even now, in the face of all the immortal gods, she harries me perpetually. Hera charges me that I always go to battle for the Trojans. Away with you now. Hera might catch us here. I will see to this. I will bring it all to pass. Look, I will bow my head if that will satisfy you. That, I remind you, that among the immortal gods is the strongest, truest sign I can give. No word or work of mine, nothing can be revoked. There is no treachery, nothing left unfinished. Once I bow my head to say it, it shall be done. So he decreed. And Zeus, the son of Cronus, bowed his craggy, dark brows, and the deathless locks came pouring down from the thunderhead of the great immortal king, and giant shock waves spread through all Olympus. So the two of them made their pact and parted. Deep in the sea, she dove from radiant Mount Olympus. Zeus went back to his own halls, and all the gods in full assembly rose from their seats at once to meet the Father striding toward them now. None dared remain at rest as Zeus advanced. They all sprang up to greet him face to face as he took his place before them on his throne. But Hera knew it all. She had seen now Thetis, the old man of the sea's daughter. Thetis, quick on her glistening feet, was hatching plans with Zeus. And suddenly Hera taunted the father, son of Cronus. So who of the gods this time, my treacherous one, was hatching plans with you? Always your pleasure, whenever my back is turned, to settle things in your grand clandestine way. You never design, do you, freely and frankly, to share your plots with me? Never, not a word. Okay, Isaac shall finish us off.
Okay, nice job on the reading. So what happened in that part? Thetis, Achilles' mother, comes up, hugs Zeus's knees, asks him to bring strife to the Achaean forces, and bring vengeance for Achilles on Agamemnon. And Zeus bows his head, and Hera continues to be an op. She's such an op. I hate Hera so much, especially if you ever read the Iliad. She's just preying on Aeneas' downfall the entire time, bro.
This guy.
She is so annoying. Okay. So, the father of men and gods replied sharply, Hera, stop hoping to fathom all my thoughts. You will find them a trial, though you are my wife. Whatever is right for you to hear, no one, trust me, will know of it before you, neither God nor man. Whatever I choose to plan apart from the gods, no more of your everlasting questions. Probe and pry me no more. And Hera, the queen, her dark eyes wide, exclaimed, Dread Majesty, son of Kronos, what are you saying? Now surely I've never probed or pried in the past. Why, you can scheme to your heart's content, without a qualm in the world for me. But now, I have a terrible fear that she has won you over. Thetis, the old man of the sea's daughter. Thetis, with her glistening feet. I know it. Just at dawn, she knelt down beside you and grasped your knees. And I suspect you bowed your head in assent to her. You granted once and for all to exalt Achilles now and to slaughter the hordes of Achaeans pinned against their ships. And Zeus, who marshals the thunderheads, returned. Maddening one, you and your eternal suspicions. I can never escape you. But tell me, Hera, just what can you do about this? Nothing. Only estrange yourself from me a little more. And all the worse for you. If what you say is true, that must be my pleasure. Now go sit down. Be quiet now. Obey my orders. For fear the gods, however many Olympus holds, are powerless to protect you when I come, to throttle you with my irresistible hands. He subsided, But Hera, the queen, her eyes wider, was terrified. She sat in silence. She wrenched her will to his. And throughout the halls of Zeus, the gods of heaven quaked with fear. Hephaestus, the master craftsman, rose up first to harangue them all, trying now to bring his loving mother a little comfort. While the white-armed goddess Hera, oh disaster, that's what it is, and it will be unbearable if the two of you must come to blows this way, flinging the gods in chaos just for mortal men. No more joy for us in the sumptuous feast when riot rules the day. I urge you, mother, you know that I am right. Work back into his good graces, so the Father, our beloved Father, will never wheel on us again. Send our banquets crashing. The Olympian Lord of Lightning, what if he would like to blast us from our seats? He is far too strong. Go back to him, mother. Stroke the Father with soft, winning words. At once, the Olympian will turn kind to us again. Pleading, springing up, with a two-handed cup, he reached it towards his loving mother's hands. With his own winging words. Patience, mother, grieved as you are. Bear up, or dear as you are. I have to see you beaten right before my eyes. I would be shattered. What could I do to save you? It's hard to fight the Olympian strength for strength. You remember the last time I rushed to your defenses. He seized my foot. He hurled me off the tremendous threshold, and all day long I dropped. I was a dead weight. And then, when the sun went down I plunged, on Lemnos, little breath left in me. But the mortals there soon nursed a fallen immortal back to life. At that, the white-armed goddess Hera smiled, and smiling, took the cup from her child's hands. Then dipping sweet nectar up from his mixing bowl, he poured it round to all the mortals, left to right. An uncontrollable laughter broke from the happy gods as they watched the god of fire breathing hard and bustling through the halls. That hour then, and all day long till the sun went down, they feasted. And no god's hunger lacked a share of the handsome banquet, or the gorgeous lyre Apollo struck, or the muses singing, voice to voice in choirs, the vibrant music rising. At last, when the sun's fiery light had set, each immortal went to rest in his own house. The splendid high halls Hephaestus built for each. With all his craft and cunning, the famous crippled smith, and the Olympian Zeus, the Lord of Lightning, went to his own bed, where he had always lain, when welcome sleep came to him. There he climbed up, and there he slept, and by his side lay Hera, the queen, the goddess of the golden throne.
Okay.
So, that's book one. So yeah, Zeus gets angry at Hera. Hera is told by Hephaestus to get back in his good graces.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of agrees, I think. So, what are the takeaways?
Okay, so I have a couple things to say, not really about the book itself, but more like why it's good that we're doing this. So if you have anything related to the book itself, you might want to say that first.
Okay, so I think, first of all, I think we're seeing, like, at the start there, like, the most important part when Achilles and Agamemnon clash. Like, I think we start to see both of their fatal flaws, and I think both of them are pride. And I think Agamemnon more so, because I think Achilles deserves to have pride, I'll be honest, because he's legit, like, the best warrior. But I think Agamemnon, with his pride, is condemning, like, all the Greek forces to failure just because, you know, he thinks something's unfair to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, that's kind of revealing his fatal flaw. And, you know, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what I'll say, it's good that we're doing a book with this, because, you know, I'm just going to be so honest. This was hard. It was hard to read. It was hard to understand. I still have questions about things. I may go home and I may reread or listen to some of it, because it is a hard book to understand, because even though this is translated in contemporary language, this is an old writing style. It's very complex, and yeah, it's not like a modern book where you can just read through it and right away it's like, oh, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
No, you gotta think about this, you gotta reread this. There's a lot more effort that goes into this.
Yeah.
But the reason this is good, and the reason that this fits into the theme of this channel, is because we do talk a lot about physical fitness on this channel. You know, we do all those workouts, all that cardio and all that stuff, and physical fitness is important. But something else that's important is mental fitness.
Yeah.
And I'm not just trying to be a PSA, I'm just saying, like, physical fitness and mental fitness, they go hand in hand, and they're just as important as each other. And these new series we're starting, I mean, book club with the creed, cards with the creed, these are all things. Reading stuff like this is a way that you can improve your mental fitness, which is why not only is it good that we're doing this, it fits perfectly with the theme of our channel.
Yeah. I'd also say, to that point, this book, there's a lot of virtues in it that, I mean, they're known in modern day life, you know, but I feel like we more rely on, like, the Christian and Hebrew virtues, you know, like humbleness and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
but here
you know?
it's more like pride.
Yeah, and so I'd say the Hebrew virtues are very important, you know, I'd say those are some of the most important, right? But I think a lack of these virtues, like bravery and pride and, like, all those things, you know, like, I think a lack of it can be harmful. And I think, like, being able to observe, like, what our ancestors and, like, what the people of the past valued and everything can help us live, like, a more valuable and better life, you know?
100%.
Like, it can go with, like, physical and mental stuff, you know, like, obviously there's a lot of hard work in this, you know, like, they're going off to battle and all that crap. So I think that's another good reason to read this book. And yeah.
But yeah, guys, let us know what you thought of this. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, we will see you guys in the next one.
Yep. Bye.